So cutting again started as an event in Texas in the United States, and how it started was it was really a group of ranchers got together, and a very efficient way of cutting out your fat cattle to go to market is to basically gather the cattle into the corner of a paddock. And you have your various help standing out the front, and the owner or the breeder used to go into the herd of cattle and select the cow that he wanted to have for market, and just cut it out quietly from the herd, not disturbing the herd, and saying, this is the cow that I want to go there. He'd go and stand over there, and the rest of the herd stay there, and he'd go and select. Well, anyway, a group of ranchers thought, wow, my horse cuts cow better, he's quieter, I'm more proficient at that. And it's amazing how in Texas all these ranchers got together and said, we need to make this into an event and take it to the show ring. And that is exactly what it was.
It's a tough game getting the right horse for cutting. They've got to be structurally built well. They've got to have a mind that they can read a beast. They've got to be trainable, have the right temperament. So it's a big ask to get a really good cutting horse, but start with well-bred horses, because it's the old story. The good ones cost just as much as the bad ones to train and keep.
One of the things I really enjoy about Western performance horses and cutting in particular is that, the athleticism that they display and the training that they go through, and then we sort of, especially in a cutting horse, you watch the riders, they slap their hand down and it's up to the horse now, and that horse when that horse takes a hold of the cow and you see that expression on the horse's face, they love their job at some level, and it's really great to see that, and as veterinarians we help those horses, compete at their best and show that ability and that natural talent that they have, and nurture that, and also work with trainers as well to sort of bring that all together.
You've got to put a lot of trust in your horse and a lot of trust in your ability of what you've done on your horse to then, put your hand down on a loose rein and hope that horse goes with the cow and blocks the cow and does what you've trained him to do. It can be, sometimes it can work really good and you can be amazed by that horse. And other times it's satisfying, and then there's the other end of the spectrum where it's really disappointing and you thought you had one just right to go and it doesn't work.
So the NCHA Futurity is for a 3-year-old horse that goes through basically an 18-month training period, and his first competition for the most money he will ever ride for in a cutting event is at the Futurity. So he's never been shown before, and he's going for the biggest money he'll ever compete for. So that's how the Futurity, meaning 3-year-old horse, actually developed, and the first Futurity here was like 46 years ago in Australia.
And we take pride in looking after our horses. From the moment we get them, they're on. We start them onto joint supplements like Foresight. We monitor their their injuries and whatever they can get, and we ice them, and we put magnets on them and all sorts of stuff to help them like any athlete. We use chiropractors and massages and vets and all that sort of thing to keep them rolling and to keep them feeling good. They're an athlete. They're like playing football. After they've had a big day like they have at the Futurity with a couple of practices or a practice and a show, it's like playing football. So you've got to look after it. You've got to take them home and do all that sort of loving stuff for them. And yeah, there's a lot of things that go into that. Good feed program, and making sure you look at them and make sure they're right.
Winning the Futurity would be phenomenal. It'd be like winning. That's everyone's goal, to win a Futurity. It would be an enormous thrill to own a Futurity winner, to have one good enough. A great thrill for the trainer, great thrill for the owners. I hope one day we experience that. We'll be over the moon.